waxaan la hadlayaa dhalinyarada jiilka saddexaad meel bay joogtaa ninkii naagta xaq waaye in la dilo hataa muslimiintiin Moną Walter waxaan oranayaa meel kasta joogtiin jiilka saddexaad naagta dila naagta dhunta ku dhufta naagta hal la dilo gabadha Moną Walter la dhaho waxaan leeyahay waa sharamuuto cross soo xirta afada foosha xun wasa dila waan bariyaa waxaa dhacay rasuulku qad ahmar islaamku qad ahmar loo adkaysan karma indhaha ka bixiya afka kaga kaaja fotoda kaga kaaja siirkaas hasta la Victoria sawir khashi ma salam.
Jesteśmy obecnie w Szwecji i udało nam się dotrzeć do zarazem dość kontrowersyjnej, jak i tajemniczej postaci. Tajemniczej nie dlatego, że nie chce pokazywać twarzy, lecz wręcz przeciwnie, bo za to, że mówi głośno o tym, co myśli, grozi jej śmierć. Żyje pod fałszywym imieniem i nazwiskiem, ukrywa się i prosi, byśmy nie ujawniali, w jakim mieście się spotkaliśmy. Gdy podróżuje na publiczne spotkania, jedzie z ochroną i specjalne służby pilnują jej. Spotykamy się najpierw w publicznym miejscu, w centrum handlowym. Chce nas sprawdzić i upewnić się, że nie stanowimy zagrożenia. Ma do tego powody. Przykładów zabójstw osób publicznych za krytykę islamu nawet w Europie nie brakuje.
How it is that you came to Sweden? Because
I flee from Somalia, the civil war, 1994. I come to Sweden, and I've been given a home here. I've been accepted here, and I've become a Swedish citizen. And I've married a Swedish man, and that was so difficult because it's not acceptable. You know. When I first come to Sweden, I thought that I will continue my life just like Somalia. Because we kind of free people. Like everybody was Muslim, almost everybody was Muslim.
It's almost 100% Muslim. Yeah, it's about 99%.
100% Muslim almost. But we have a different Islam.
Yeah.
If I look back, the Islam I met here in Sweden and the Swedish mosque and the Islam in Somalia. The Islam in Somalia was kind of secular. We were African people. We have our own culture. We dressed like...
it was a cultural Islam.
Yeah, it was a culture.
It was more as a tradition?
Yeah, tradition. Yeah. I mean, I never went to mosque. Women never go to mosque in Somalia, for example.
Okay.
And everything was okay. I didn't have a problem with my religion. But first, when I come to Sweden, that's when I discover the true Islam. The thing is that there in Somalia, you don't have books. Here I discover the books and what is written in the Islamic books. And really it's just a clash with my moral values.
Okay.
It didn't go together. So I kind of rejected it. In the beginning I say, okay, I went to mosque, I pray 5 times a day, I fast Ramadan. I was just trying to be a good Muslim, like they told me, because otherwise you will face some problems. So I did it, and the more I learned, the more I hated everything. I just hated what is in the books. And the message I found in the books, that's what I have problem with.
So when you talk about the books, you talk about the Quran,
the
Surah,
Quran,
and the Hadith.
Yeah, and everything that they say, Prophet Muhammad said this and did that. I was against that, and it was kind of an evil culture. I saw that they were forcing young girls to cover. I saw that they were telling us, like the Somali, we have a group of Somali nationalists who break away from this Islamic community, the Muslim Brotherhood.
Yeah.
And the Somali nationalists, they want to we wear our Somali guntino, I call it. It's very colorful, it's very beautiful. Yeah. And we dance, on the street, and we did all kind of things. We have our flag, and we were kind of like the Somali nationalists. And these Islamic groups, they hate that. They say that we should not be nationalism. Nationalism is bad. Something that I never forget, our Imam told me one time. He said that if you refuse to cover yourself, if you refuse to pray, if you refuse to follow the Sharia,
Yeah.
and do you know that according to Islam, if you refuse to pray, we have a right to kill you even. You will ask to pray. If you don't pray, we will kill you. I said, but I'm in Sweden.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. And it was kind of like, there's a Swedish woman who converted to Islam. And they told me that she was their sister, not me, not the Somali nationalist.
Koncept, o którym tutaj mówi Mona, to umma, czyli cała wspólnota islamska. W kontekście panislamizmu i polityki to słowo oznacza wspólnotę wierzących. Znaczenie słowa umma różni się od słów kraj lub naród. Umma powstała dookoła wiary, że posłaniec lub prorok zostały wysłane, by przekazać boskie objawienia. Tym wysłannikiem był Mohamed i miał zaprowadzić ummę do zbawienia. W przeciwieństwie do innych proroków, Mohamed miał stworzyć uniwersalną ummę, a nie tylko taką dla Arabów. Umma jest więc oparta na religii i wykonuje prawa boskie, raczej niż prawa pokrewieństwa plemienia czy narodu. To słowo jest użyte aż 62 razy w Koranie. Jest to ciekawe słowo, ponieważ przechodzi pewną ewolucję. Początkowo prawie nie różniące się od słowa kaum lub ludzie, pod koniec Koranu określa konkretnie muzułmanów i staje się ekskluzywnym pojęciem. Wy jesteście najlepszym narodem, jaki został utworzony dla ludzi. Wy nakazujecie to, co jest uznane, a zakazujecie tego, co jest naganne i wierzycie w Boga.
So they were preaching the idea of the Muslim Ummah, the Muslim community, over and above
The nationality.
national lines, ethnic
Yeah,
lines.
ethnic. So
Okay.
that's what I learned, that according to Islam, we're not allowed to be a nationalist. We're not allowed. We were like everybody who is Muslim is brother and sister. And I was against that. I was very angry. I say, hey, here you have a white woman, a Swedish woman. You telling me that she's more close to you than me, your own people?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. And
So-
everybody told me that.
Mona, what would you say are the worst things that have been brought to Sweden by these Muslim radicalists? What are the main problems that Sweden will now have to face that are linked to this culture?
The Islamic culture.
Yeah.
That's Islamic culture. It's Sharia. It's Islamic values. Islamic values is very, very bad values.
Could you tell us more about these values?
Making a woman second citizen.
Okay.
Women, she's a half of a person. Man is 100%, for example. And intolerant, hate, Jew hate, gay hate, women hate, and hate.
Okay.
Is a totalitarian culture and religion. And you know, Swedish culture is a very tolerant culture. It's very welcoming culture. Is based on Christianity. Though the Swedish people, all of them, they're not Christian. They don't go to church, but they have a Christian values. Even the atheists, they have a Christian values. Their values is based on Jesus and Christianity. And Islam is based on Sharia, and is very intolerant and hateful culture. So this culture can never coexist. Yes, now when Islam is a minority religion, yes, but when Islam is the majority religion, what will happen?
And do you think Sweden is going this way? Do you think demographically that Sweden is slowly but surely becoming perhaps...
Yeah,
Yeah?
because you see the suburbs. What's happening in the suburbs? You see it's getting bigger and bigger, and they have a more control. The Muslims who come to this country, some of them want the freedom,
Yeah.
but they can't have that freedom because their leaders telling them not to. Their leaders, the imams, they're the one who control that area. Not the Swedish police or not the Swedish government. This area is controlled by the imams, by the true Muslim. People will say radicals. They're not radicals. They're just following what is in the Sharia. So they will have a problem in the future. Not today, maybe not in 10 years or 20 years, but the future. If it continues this way, they will have a problem.
Could you tell us about how you came to become a Christian, because you've converted to Christianity?
Yeah.
And what happened when you converted to Christianity? What sort of led you to choose Christianity as a religion, and what was the reaction of your Muslim friends, Muslim family?
First I rejected God. I was an atheist many years, but I was still living in the Muslim community.
Okay.
Because I didn't want. I was still going to mosque and learning, and I was still in the Muslim community. Then 2006 something happened. My relative converted to Christianity, and she had to flee from Gothenburg to UK because of it.
She had to flee from Sweden,
Yeah,
Gothenburg,
yeah.
to the United Kingdom because she converted in Sweden from Islam to Christianity.
Yeah, because she was not safe. Because her mother, who is in Scandinavia, and I don't want to say where, in Scandinavia, she talked to her husband and said that take the children from her or kill her. Because that's what Allah commands. That's what Islamic God said. Because she was scared that the children will be infidels. Because if you're infidel, you go to hell.
Yeah.
So she was doing what she thought was right.
So this event in 2006
Yeah.
shook you and sort of changed something?
Yeah, and she called me from UK and she told me that I'm Christian, and I say, oh, good for you, because I don't want anything to do with religion. I don't believe in a God.
Okay.
So she just called every day and encouraged me to just borrow a Bible and read, because it's different from what we believed.
So you rejected all religion based on what you found in Islam?
Yeah,
Okay.
what I found in the Quran and what Prophet Muhammad did, they say. That's what they say in the books. So I thought that all religion is the same. That's what I told her. And I don't want anything to do with that. I'm free, thank God.
Yeah.
Or I used to say good that time. Thank good, because I believe in good.
Okay.
That's the belief
I
I
see.
have that time.
Okay.
So she laughed at me and said, it's not the same. So I borrowed Bible and I read. And then I fell in love with Jesus. So it's good to have a God who tell me that I should forgive. I should love even my enemy. That's very difficult for me, but it's a good values. I compare the values Jesus with the teachings of Jesus and the teachings of Muhammad and his book, the Quran. So I prefer, Jesus, of course.
I see. I understand.
Yeah, because of the message of love and the message of peace, and that's what I was looking for. I didn't find that in Islam.
What was the reaction of your friends and family when you did convert to Christianity?
Oh, everyone was devastated. It was devastated. It was even more dangerous for me when I came out as a Christian. They kind of suspected that I was not a believer, I was kind of atheist, but they accepted me anyway and told me that I should pray, and they will pray for me and all kind of things. And some of the very, very religious people threatened me because they didn't want me near their daughters. Because I was telling them about democracy and you are free in Sweden, you can believe whatever you want to believe, and
You can wear what you want.
yeah, you have a right to do whatever you want to do. You own your own body and stuff like that. And they didn't like that, of course. They were very upset. So they called me the wicked witch.
Okay.
They should stay away from me.
Okay.
So it was very, very, very difficult. But it gets worse when I come out as a Christian. That's when hell loose break. It was awful. And then
So you were exiled by your own community.
yeah,
your own people.
yeah. And then when I start writing about Islam, 2014, I wrote my first debate about the Quran and about what is happening in our Swedish suburb, and what I learned in the mosque, that the mosque was dangerous, and the mosque they tell young Somalis, young Muslims, because I've been to many mosques and I have not seen one imam who preach secularity. One imam who preach we should love all people, we should coexist. They all preach hate against this community. And they encourage young Muslim women to allow their husband to marry 4 wives in order to
polygamy in Sweden.
in Sweden, and they even tell how they can do it without the government finding out.
So is this quite common in the Muslim community?
Yeah, and he have a goal, because his goal was that the Muslim community should produce more children than the Swedish, the natives, in order to become a majority in that area, and then to become a more bigger community. And in the future, that way Sweden will become a Muslim country. So they have a message that Muslim women should allow their husband to marry more, so they will produce more children. And he was like, they used to joke about, look, they're Swedish, they're not producing children. We are the future of this country. Islam is the future of this country because they are not producing enough children. And we will double them.
Zmiana demograficzna jest stanowczo widoczna nagim okiem w większości szwedzkich miast, a w niektórych dzielnicach jak Rinkeby, Rosengård lub Biskopsgården etniczni Szwedzi stanowią dzisiaj mniejszość. To, o czym mówi Mona Walter, jest jednym z wariantów teorii Eurabii, politycznego neologizmu używanego do opisania procesów islamizacji oraz arabizacji Starego Kontynentu. Odsłon tej teorii jest wiele i została ona opisana w licznych książkach. Głównym argumentem zwolenników tej teorii jest zmiana demograficzna. Niski współczynnik dzietności rdzennych Europejczyków i starzejące się europejskie kraje i zastępowanie ich przez masową migrację z krajów arabskich lub muzułmańskich o wyższym współczynniku dzietności. Teoria ta jest bardzo krytykowana, jest opisywana przez niektórych jako skrajnie islamofobiczna, a przez wielu w świecie akademickim jako ekstremistyczna teoria spiskowa. Według Pew Research Center przykładowo dostępne dane nie wskazują na to, że Europa idzie w kierunku Eurabii. Według ich prognoz w Europie będzie 8% muzułmanów w 2030 roku. Według prognoz Daily Telegraph w 2050 będzie to 20% lub co 5. mieszkaniec Europy. Niemniej teoria Eurabii lub przynajmniej różne z jej wariantów znajduje wiele zwolenników, niektórych trudnych do zlekceważenia, takich jak na przykład Bernard Lewis, professor emeritus z Princeton University, uznawany za najbardziej wpływowego powojennego historyka islamu i Bliskiego Wschodu, który uważa, że Europa będzie islamska przed końcem tego wieku. Koncept Eurabii lub islamizacji Europy znajduje też wielu zwolenników w muzułmańskim świecie, takich jak Muammar Gaddafi lub obecny prezydent Turcji Erdogan.
Was it just as difficult going and speaking out against the problems within the Muslim community as it was to leave the Muslim community?
Oh, it was much difficult for me when I come out as an Islam critic, and I was noticed as an Islam critic. It was very difficult. I have to flee. I have to flee from the area I lived for 20 years. I have to flee. Today I live under a protected address. I have a secret address. Wherever I go and speak, I have to have a security. We have to have a police. It's awful. It's awful for me. It's awful for my children, for my husband. It's not good life. It's very difficult.
What it is you're trying to basically say to the Swedish people?
I just want to tell them Islam is not compatible to a Swedish value and democratic value. It's very, very dangerous ideology, and we need to speak openly. We need to discuss. There is an issue in Islam. There is a big problem. I mean the ideology. I don't talk about Muslims, individuals, Muslim. I'm talking about the books and what those books teach.
So the seeds of radicalism lie in the holy texts of Islam.
Yeah, but you cannot separate. You cannot separate when you say, oh, radical. The radicals, they have a source.
Yeah.
And that source is the Quran and Prophet Muhammad and his Sunnah. So we need to, I always say, instead of criticizing the individual who you call radical,
Criticize the ideology.
criticize the ideology and the books, the Quran, and what Prophet Muhammad said and did. That is the problem. That is the source. You know, they are just copying what he did and what he commanded and what the Quran said. That is their perfect world. You know, they want to create this Sharia and Caliphate, and that is the perfect. This world we live in is a filth. Democracy is a filth. Human right is a filth. Is from the devil himself. That's what Islam say.
So why is it that Muslims who hold these beliefs, especially the leaders of the communities, why is it that they come out to European countries? Why are they moving here?
To spread, of course. Of course, some of them are fleeing like me. I was just fleeing from war. I didn't come to Sweden when I was a Muslim to take over Sweden and force the native Swedish people under Sharia law. I didn't come, and I think there are many Muslims who are just like me, or are just like me that time.
But there are some.
But there are the leaders. The leaders know what to do, and not just the leaders here in the Western society, in Europe or in America, but the leaders of the Arab world, the Muslim world, in Saudi Arabia, in Qatar, in Dubai, all this rich oil country. They know that I mean, the only way they can conquer the infidels. I'm telling you, the infidels are now the Westerners.
Yeah.
Everyone who does not believe in Islam is infidel. Even the modern Muslim, they're infidels because they reject the Sharia. A Muslim woman who refuses to cover herself, she's an infidel. So they know that the only way they can conquer is allowing people to move here. That's why they're not taking in refugees. Saudi Arabia, Dubai, they have money and they have land. Why is that they are not helping their brothers and sisters? This is the idea, is to move to place and just to conquer by producing more than the natives, by sending millions and millions of dollars and spreading this ideology.
So financing mosques, for
financing
example.
mosque and Islamic madrasa, Islamic school, giving money to our mainstream media so they will shut up. Of course, not say anything about the ideology, because I know that. That's 100%.
Do you think that the European media that doesn't report on these things, are they doing it out of fear of political correctness, or because, as you say, perhaps they are being paid to not?
Both.
Both,
because if they tell the truth, people will not vote for them, and that's 100%. If media reported what's happening in Rinkeby and what's happening in Hammarkullen and in some places in Malmö, they will not vote. The people will know the truth, and they will vote different. That's why they have to keep everything silence and hide the truth. In order to be in power.
Okay.
That's why.
What can be done by people like us, normal people, to change this?
I think to protest and stop voting for the left. That's because I know how they think, how the left think, and I think they are ignorant and naive. We need to stop to vote for them. Stop voting for them. That's it. That's all. You just, we're the one who vote. They're in power because of your voice and my voice. We just need to stop.
Okay.
That's all. And educate people about this subject. We need to talk about openly and stop voting for the biased. That's all.
Could you tell us a bit about the threats that you have received, about what sort of reaction you get from perhaps just Muslims, perhaps messages you get on your email, on your Facebook, on your phone, the sort of the threats that have come your way. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, it's awful. It's kind of, we will rape you and we will behead you. Just last month I have a man who sent a video to me from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
He's a refugee, a Somali refugee. He's a mullah kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And he made a video where he's telling the Swedish Muslim to find me, first rape me and then behead me. And I put that video, English subtitles, and I put it on my Facebook. Do you think a Swedish media call me and say, what is this? How do you feel? No. Even the police say, we can't help you. We can't do anything about it because we have no resource.
Okay. You are a woman, you are black, you're a Somalian, you're an ex-Muslim. I mean, all these sort of privileged boxes you tick. How does the Swedish media report on you and the things that you say? I mean, do they ignore you? Do they call you a bigot? Can they call you a racist?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been called a lot of things. I just spread lies. That's the first thing. People think, oh, this is I spread Islamophobia. That's the main thing. That you spread Islamophobia, and they have to ignore me because they will not publish my articles. I only publish in the Christian media. And one time they follow me to Rinkeby, they dare to follow me, and they follow me. They have to censor. So I have to record everything and publish in the free media, of course.
Okay.
So they will do anything to silence me, just to dismiss. Don't talk to her, she will just disappear.
And what do you think about this paradox that the left, which usually preaches tolerance, equality, which is usually very pro-LGBT, which is all about diversity, which is all about equality and tolerance, this paradox that they are the ones siding with Islam, which is anti-gay, anti-woman, anti-feminist, anti-democracy. How do you think this paradox has come to exist? Why is it that the left, which preaches all these values on one hand, is defending an ideology which opposes all of those things?
Yeah, they kind of confused. They are morally twisted and confused.
Okay.
And what they think is that if we defend Islam, we defend individual Muslims. So they cannot, I don't understand why, but they cannot separate Muslims as a human beings and Islam as a ideology. Because when I criticize Islam, they will get upset and say, oh, you hateful, you this. So they feel like they have to defend the ideology. And when they do, they defend the people. So they have a problem. They cannot separate, but we have to separate. The people are people. They are both good and bad. I don't understand how this is the opposite of what the left believe. I mean, it's kind of. Sometimes I feel like the Western leaders, they're kind of wicked, because they don't care what's happening to the Muslims in Saudi Arabia, in Egypt, in Afghanistan. People get stoned. I mean, we have America is fighting ISIS, for example. Why are they not fighting Saudi Arabia? The Saudis are the brain and the heart of the all Islamic jihadists.
Okay.
Why is that? Because of business. So again, human lives does not matter. First is business.
So there's been a slight shift in politics. Obviously, you're saying to not vote to the left. Are you not afraid of perhaps a resurgence of the extreme right and of sort of European nationalism reawakening?
No. I think they are very little. People like that, they are not much. If you look Sweden, maybe 1%. You see, there is a difference between nationalist. I'm a nationalist. I'm proud to be a nationalist. And I don't hate white people.
Yeah.
And there is a big difference between a nationalist and racist.
Okay.
There's a big difference. I have no problem nationalists, European nationalists, because they have every right to love their country, to love their culture. I promote them because I think they're doing right, because that's what I'm doing in Somalia. I'm working on the Somalicization of my country and de-Islamization and de-Arabization of my country. I want my values. I want to keep my identity. I mean, many Somalis like me now, even they're Muslim Somali or atheist, Somali atheist, the liberals, for them it's very important to bring back our old Somalia, and they say we want to back our country from Al-Shabaab, from the Arabization that have been lasted 26 years. So is nationalism is very important. I mean, I think ethnicity and roots are very important. The culture are very important, and there is a bad culture and good culture, but we're not allowed to say, because for political reasons. We're not allowed to say, for example, the Islamic culture is barbaric, is bad. They hate women, they hate democracy. It's just a bad culture. We're not allowed to say, but we should say. And when we admit that, even the Muslims themselves, they have to admit that there is a problem in this culture. And when you admit the problem, you can change. But if you don't admit, how can you change? Because you're not saying I have a problem. If I go to doctor, I have to tell the doctor where I have a problem. I have a stomach ache, I have to say. Otherwise, he can't help me.
And my last question for you, Mona, is a question about identity.
Yeah.
As you've said many times, you're a Somalian nationalist, but you've married a Swede and you have children.
Yeah.
Are your children Swedish, Somalian, or are they?
They both. I told them you are an African and you are Viking Swedish. So they both. I teach them their half, their African half, and of course they have their Swedish, half Swedish. So they are both. It's very good to tell where you come from and your values and all that is very important for me. It's very important.
Rozmowa z Moną jest przerażająca od tego, co mówi o sytuacji demograficznej, o ideologii islamu, o byciu eks-muzułmanką w Szwecji oraz o wolności słowa w Szwecji. 20 minut to niewystarczająco, by wgłębić się w te wszystkie tematy. Dlatego być może analiza Mony może się wydawać stanowcza i jednoznaczna, czasem może nawet radykalna. To, że dzisiaj w Szwecji osoba, która korzysta z podstawowej wolności słowa, boi się do tego stopnia, że rozważa emigrację, to dowód na potrzebę publicznej debaty o islamie. Takiej debaty ani w Szwecji, ani w prawie żadnym innym kraju Zachodu dzisiaj de facto nie ma. Natomiast jest ciągła apologia tej religii oraz oskarżanie tych, co są sceptycznie nastawieni do islamu, o islamofobię. Ale kto, jeżeli nie byli muzułmanie jak Moną Walter, Mohammed Bilek czy Ayaan Hirsi Ali lub inni, mają prawo mówić o problemach z islamem? To, co mówi Mona o ideologii, a nie o ludziach, o kulturze, a nie o rasie, to ważne słowa dla Europy, która przez postmodernizm stoi dzisiaj przed kryzysem wartości. Wartości i zwyczaje importowane z przeważnie muzułmańskich krajów powinny być nawet dla najbardziej zagorzałych obrońców islamu problematyczne. A przecież te konsekwencje zderzenia wartości są bardzo widoczne. Przykładowo pojawienie się w Szwecji klitorediktomii lub obrzezania kobiet, czyli okaleczenia żeńskich narządów płciowych. Praktyka ta, mimo że występowała jeszcze przed islamem, dzisiaj jest tą religią kojarzona przez jej nacisk na czystość i odosobnienie kobiet. Mimo że obrzezanie nie pojawia się w Koranie, jest chwalone w kilku hadisach. Ten barbarzyński zwyczaj, wraz z masową migracją z kultur, gdzie jest wykonywany, został dzisiaj zaimportowany do Szwecji. Nie jest to jedyny przykład wartości importowanych. Szwecja musi się zmagać z zabójstwami honorowymi, z rosnącym antysemityzmem i małżeństwami pomiędzy najbliższym kuzynostwem i rosnącą przemocą wobec kobiet. Głosy byłych muzułmanów, takich jak Moną Walter, to ważny początek publicznej debaty. Jak widzieliście na początku materiału, Mona otrzymuje wiele niezwykle agresywnych wiadomości. Jak macie chwilę, to może warto jej coś miłego napisać, bo nawet jak się z nią nie zgadzacie, to chyba warto wspierać tych, którzy narażając własne życie stoją na straży wolności słowa.